Mustafa is one of the luckiest men in Gaza. Despite having bone cancer, he's just won a reprieve from his death sentence, at least for now. For the family, tears of joy, but anxiety too. Mustafa has received permission to enter Israel to get urgent medical treatment. After being refused permission to leave Gaza more than 20 times, he's now seriously ill. Rejected, he says, over and over. It's like the lottery. You don't know who will win and who will lose. Since Hamas seized full control of Gaza in June, it's been a struggle for anyone to get in or out. His mother weeps as he begins his arduous journey. The family's happy he's finally getting treatment, but feel aggrieved for the many cancer victims that are left behind. One of those is 14-year-old Noor Mahdi. He also has bone cancer, but there's little the doctors can do now. Here they take samples from his depleted blood. The only other thing they can provide are painkillers to dull the agony.
We are sad and angry because we can't do anything for him.
His mother had been desperately trying to get him to an Israeli hospital, but now he's considered a hopeless case. The cancer has spread to his lungs. He's in constant agony. They don't even have the drugs here to allow them to amputate his badly infected right leg. This child came to me late in my life, she explained. I was trying for 10 years to have a son. At Shifa Hospital, the nurse showed me the empty medicine cabinets. Many of the life-saving machines are no longer functioning because they can't get the spare parts. For the past year and a half, Channel 4 News has reported on the critical shortage of medicine at this hospital. And doctors now say it's the worst it's ever been. In many cases, they're no longer treating the sick, but just easing the pain of the dying. Across the other side of Gaza, others are dying too. A battle is underway between Palestinian fighters and Israeli troops. Here, Gaza's answer to Rambo is engaged in a futile attempt to shoot down an Israeli Apache helicopter. It didn't work, as we soon discovered. We run for cover with the locals. These days, such clashes are a brief distraction from Gaza's daily grind. But it can be a hazardous spectator sport. Even with fake decoys, there's plenty of casualties. To the Israelis, these men are the terrorists and the principal menace to a lasting peace. At a donor conference this week, lots of talk about peace and creating a Palestinian state, but not much sign of that in Gaza, enduring its worst violence for months. For Palestinians here, the ongoing siege and new Israeli assaults make a mockery of all the Diplo talk.
It's true. They're trying to separate us. In Gaza, it's all starvation and siege. The West Bank is getting the money. They're trying to create a new reality, but we'll fight this to our last drop of blood.
While President Mahmoud Abbas was hobnobbing with international donors in Paris this week, Gaza's de facto leader, Ismail Haniyeh, was back home. He didn't make the guest list. The only pledges he's getting are pledges of support from his party faithful. This was a rare public appearance, but he was in defiant mood in an interview with Channel 4 News. He denied reports that he'd called for a ceasefire with Israel.
There is no contact between us and the Israelis. We will not negotiate directly with them.
He was dismissive too about the Paris conference and Tony Blair in his new role as a Middle East envoy.
Blair will fail in his mission if he continues just to focus only on economic issues. He needs to deal with political realities. If they only deal with one part of the Palestinian people and not the other, all this talk will come to nothing. This money is being used to create divisions among the Palestinians, to separate us. And we reject this. We do not accept the idea that this money should be used against the Palestinian resistance.
That Palestinian resistance was out in force nearby at a funeral for a fighter from Mr. Haniyeh's Hamas. He was killed in a battle with the Israelis. "Don't shoot your bullets in the air," they shout over a loudspeaker. "Save them for the Israeli soldiers." People here are burying yet another of their dead. Anger and despair runs deep in Gaza, increasingly isolated from the outside world. And all this when the international community is talking about creating an independent and viable Palestinian state. Try telling that to the people of Gaza. Palestinian militants here have their own ideas. And this week's violence in Gaza is a warning that progress will only be possible if they're part of the solution. Inigo Gilmore, Channel 4 News, Gaza.